Those are the numbers we have. Is everybody okay with what Elijah said? We're headed to 24. All right. What else do we know? We know one more.
0.6.
All right. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. All right. Those are all our known numbers. Everybody good with that so far? Now, that's the part I usually have no trouble getting. Now we need a guess. Is it closer to 0.6 or is it closer to 0.7?
0.7.
Closer to the 0.7. So everybody has to give me a guess and tell me what number you have. So in your mind, you're visualizing 1 through 9, and you're giving me a guess. But it's your guess. It's not mine. So what did you pick?
8.
I heard 8. I heard 9. Whatever number you have there is fine. And put a gram behind it. As long as you have a number there, you're fine. Okay? But you have to have a number there. If there was no number there, then it was wrong. Okay? As long as there was a number there, then you got the right answer. All right? So in number 2, this reads the tens place. So that means these are the what? Okay, so this would be 20, 22.
23, 24, 25, 26.
So we know 26. That means our guess has to be between 26 and 27. So we're reading the tens place on this one. So again, you're doing the same thing. Is it closer to 26 or 27?
27.
So in your mind, 1 through 9, give me a guess that estimates where it is.
8.
Okay? And put an 8 in milliliters. You have a note, Daniela? Nope. Okay. All right, everybody okay with this? All right, so number 3, how many significant digits?
3.
3. Okay, these 3 right here are significant. That's, hey, there's a decimal. These 2 are placeholders, so they're not significant. 2 and 3 are non-zero. This one is after the decimal and after the non-zero digits. So there's 3. How many in number 5? We're just going down the column. There are how many?
6.
There are 6. Non-zero. These 2, the decimal is written, so they're significant. And these 2 are after the number and after the decimal.
Is this all that's going to be on the quiz?
What?
Identifying it?
Uh-huh. Just 10 of these. All right. How many here?
2.
2. Because there's a what kind of decimal?
And then
It's called an understood in math class. Okay. It's not an imaginary number. Hated those things. All right. And number 4, how many?
6.
There's 6. These 2, why are they significant?
Because it's in between.
They're in between, and this one is after the number and after the decimal. How many in 6?
6.
There's 6 here too. That's, hey, there's a decimal. Placeholders. 1, 2, 3 are non-zero. Between, and after. All right, and how many in 8? 4, because these 2 are between. Questions? Anybody? All right, we're going to do part of your homework, and part of your homework we'll save for after the quiz. So get out the one that had the pictures with the calculating and like these. And then we'll do the front side that had rounding based on significant digits. But the calculating we're going to save to after the quiz because I've already had a couple of people saying, well, I don't got it. Need help. That video, and do another for me.
oh yeah, I missed you on those videos because
You didn't like dude?
no, he was interesting.
Yeah. I thought he was shorter winded than I was. I tend to think I'm a little long winded. So I thought we'd try one that was 7 minutes. You figure it took me 16 minutes to teach 6 rules. All right, so I'm going to pictures of where are they at? Nope, measurement graphics. All right, and these I know are not the best pictures. The only one that's really bad is the first one. Let's see here. All right, so when you look at this, the middle one is pointing at what? 600. The top one is pointing at 20. Now, what is that pointing at? That's at what? That's it. Definitely past the 2. Okay. Now, here's where we get into discussion every year. What does that look like it's pointing at? Okay. Some people say it's all the way up to the 3. Now, if you said it was at the 3, hold that thought just a second, Zyra. Okay. Most people tell me that it looks like it's 622.1. Most people tell me it's on the 9. All right. So if you said it's on the 9, what's your guess? Okay. Some people go 1. Some people might have said it was on the line. So if it's on the line, what's your guess? 0. Some people tell me it looked like it wasn't quite at the 9 and tell me it's 8 and they go 9. Any of those answers are fine as long as there are how many numbers behind the decimal? There have to be. How many numbers are behind that decimal?
2.
2. So if you have 2 numbers behind the decimal, you're fine. Now, if you were Zyra and you said it looked like it was on the 3, you needed 623 point. If it's on the 3, you're saying it's on the line. But again, you have to have how many numbers after the decimal? 2. So what tenth are you on if you're saying it's on that 623 line? Yeah, it's on the 0 line. So it has 0 tenths. What's your guess if it's on the 0 line? There's no guess, but you have to have a guess. So what are you putting for the guess? You're putting a 0. Okay? You have to have a guess beyond the 0 tenths. So you have 0, 0. Okay? Any of those are fine. Now, the other 2 are much easier to read. They're much clearer. That one I think is terrible. All right, number 2. What do you have there? 153 point. All right. What do you think that looks like? I hear a 6. And Franco said it didn't look like it was quite at the 7, so he said 6, and his guess was a 9. All right. Not many people would agree with Franco on that, but it's fine. I have no issues with it. I would take it every day of the week. All right. What else did I get? All right. 153.7 is the more common answer I get. And is it on the line? It looks like it to you, Michaela. So what's your guess? 70 is what I get 9 times out of 10. Okay. Franco's the odd man out today. All right. I would take it every day of the week, Franco. Okay. I would never mark that wrong. It is fine. If you said 71 because you thought it was a little past the line, completely cool. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that answer. All right. Number 3. What do you have here? What's on the top? What here? What 10th? 5? Now, this one on the line. No. So it needs a guess other than 0. So you give me the guess you think based on numbers 1 through 9. All right. I heard 2. I heard 3. Okay. Any of those are fine. If you had something other than 2 or 3, it's fine as long as there's a what there. A guess. It doesn't have to agree with our guess. You just have to have a guess. Okay, that's the key. You have to have one. Now, how will you know to put a guess there in the lab? If it reads to tenths, where does the guess have to be? In the hundredths place. All right, so how are the graduated cylinders different? They're what? They're the ones. So the guess is only going to be where? In the tenths. So this is 50. So this is 50 what? This is 50. 53. 54. 55. So this is going to be what? What do you think? If you said 56, what's your guess? 0.0. Now, did anybody say it wasn't on the line? I typically get that. So what did you say it was?
56.1.
Okay. And I even get some that say it was below the line. So what would you put if it was below the line? Nope. I told y'all, I'm real flexible about this. I would even take 55.9 because I'm grading your significant digits. Okay, so as long as you read the significant digits correctly, I'm not going to get bent out of shape about that. And all of these will be milliliters. Okay? This is all about the significant digits. So today when I grade your lab, I'm grading the significant digits. That's what you lose points for, that not putting units on numbers. All right, so C. What do we know here? That's 20. Okay, so we know 23. All right. Is it on the line?
No.
So I need a guess that's not a 0 because you just said it's not on the line. All right, I hear 0.8. Fine. Anybody put something else? 0.7. Anything different? So we all agreed on 7 and 8? It's amazing. Never happens. Okay? Questions? All right, so the back two, A and C. All right, what do we pick for A?
67.1.
All right, so we have 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I hear 68. All right, so is it on the line?
No. Oh, but that's
For them? Okay, point up. All right, so Franco, what'd you put?
67.9.
All right, 67.9. These are degrees Celsius. We don't have any Fahrenheit thermometers in the room. They've all broken over the years. We also don't have any mercury thermometers. All of ours are alcohol-based. All right. So, C. What do we think there? You got what? 10.9. Anybody got it on the line? 11 point. Okay. Those are fine too. Questions about how to do that? You feel okay about that? All right, let's talk about rounding. Now, again, I give a lot of leeway here. A lot of leeway. If you paid attention in 2 days ago's Ed Puzzle, you heard me talk about I'm not teaching rounding. I'm not teaching rounding. I gave up on that long ago. You learned how to round in elementary school. You should know how to round. All right, so in the first answer or question, they give you 1.4386. And I want that rounded to 3 significant digits. The first 3 significant digits are these 3. Now, if you learned in math class how to round, this 8 causes that 3 to do what? So the right answer is 1.44. However, I've given up teaching rounding. So I will take 1.43 if you don't know how to round. Okay? I will take either answer because it has the correct significant digits, which is what I'm grading. Okay? I've had that rounded to 1.50. I've had it rounded to all kinds of weird numbers. Okay? I've quit teaching rounding. I can't argue and convince people that they're wrong, so I just stopped. All right? So number 3, 0.030821. The first 3 significant digits are what? Where'd my color go?
308.
All right, so 308. These are not significant, but they have to stay or I change my number. So 0.0308. Those just drop off. They don't affect the rounding, so they're gone. Number 5. All right, we're rounding to 3 significant numbers. Again, these are my 3. This should cause it to do what? should cause it to round up to 424. However, I will take 423. Now, if you had $423,000 up there and you round it off to $423, are you going to be happy? No. So what do we need to do to these numbers? Add zeros so they stay in the same place they were. Think about it in terms of money. If you had $423,792 in your bank account and I dropped you to $423 when I rounded you off for significant digits, would you be happy with me? Absolutely not. Okay? So you want to round so that you have roughly the same amount of money. All right, number 7. You have 0.317. How do you get 3 significant digits? Keep it how it is. And the last one, 0.76, only has how many? 2s. How do you get 3? Add a 0. And you have 3. I don't know what he said, but y'all laugh, so try to be kind over there. Number 1 was either of those. Questions about anything with significant digits?
It makes so much sense when you explain it, but like at home when I was doing it, I was making it so confused. None of this makes no sense. It's just like
This was to lead into what you're doing with the math that you were supposed to do last night. It's not. I already told you what's on the quiz. Do y'all listen to me?
Okay.
There are 10. Tell me how many significant digits there are.
Okay. Oh, okay. Really? Just because it's gonna be like 12 other ones.
Do you think I lie to you on a regular basis? If I tell you that there are 10 questions on how many significant digits, there are 10 questions on how many significant digits. It's not a trick question. Tomorrow's quiz is 10 questions on calculating with significant digits. Okay? It will be on multiplication and division and addition and subtraction.
Wait.
Like on the stuff we're getting ready to practice after the quiz. Yes.
We have a quiz every day.
Not every day. I know, it's crazy, man. Crazy. You'll adapt. I mean, unless we run out of time tomorrow. If we run out of time, I'll move it to Monday. But right now, it's only done for tomorrow. Oh, let's grab what? Come on. Big one. This will take, I don't know, 3 minutes. Some of you on this side will be done before I get it passed out. How you doing with selling those moon pies? I still got a box of the band folks when I take it to the house. We ain't do too well either. It's salmon pies. This is why they don't sell me well. What is a moon pie? You can get them, we have them in vanilla chocolate, but I had it at my house. They're like little cakes with marshmallows and they're covered in whatever all else. And this chocolate was covered in chocolate. This banana was covered in the like frosting and stuff. Back in the day, they used to be very popular with RC Cola.
What?
I didn't care for RC Cola either. It's like watered down Pepsi. And to tell you how old that was, even I was a toddler, and I'm going to be 50 this year. So, moon pies have outlived their day, in my opinion. Tell football coach I said that. All right, all you have to do is write the number. You don't have to spell the number, write the number. And those of you who are sitting sort of sideways in your desk, rotate your body so you're fully facing forward. Easy on the balls, that's what they're all mixed up. They sound really nice, so they hit the floor. They're expensive. And when you're done, just flip it over. because this won't take long. Anybody still working? Yeah, all right, what's the problem? See, I told you this would be fast. All right. Hand back this while I'm thinking about it. And if you check Power School, grades are in for yesterday. Homework grade, the Ed Puzzle grade, and the quiz grade. The three of you I told to go back and do the Ed Puzzle because I figured out what y'all did. Janiyah had sent me a remind message. It came to me second period when I was talking to the second period people. Y'all did last night's homework the night prior. Okay? Which I was able to go back and check. So when we reset those, you should have been able to go in last night and do the correct version. Did you do that? So I will go back and fix that in homework later today.
That's
I
what
did as
tonight
well.
is so confused.
Yeah, she was like, I did it. And I'm like, it should have worked. It should have recorded this. So,
And she was like, it's so hard.
it's like, yeah, you did last night's homework is the correct video. Because somebody in second period was like, I did it too. And I'm like, how is this not showing up right? So I asked them some questions and they were like, no, we didn't do that. I had to do all this adding. And I'm like, adding? So we looked in the second video and I could see where it was green on them and I was like, oh, that's the wrong video.
Wait, that video was up, so I was like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. And then the second night, your video showed up, and I was like, wait, what? That's what they were talking about.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, gosh, she
See,
said
you get
that.
those there.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's
She
like-
wants to
I
do
did
that.
it too.
I know
I
it's-
did
they really
that.
just clicked off this. I got other
Yeah.
I know what this was.
Everything what?
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, but the papers, because there's so much humidity in here, stick, and they're hard to get apart. Jammed up copies, the rest of it's too great. So.
Charlie did that too.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, I mean,
I tried, but
At
at
least
least
I
I Just the weather is.
Exactly.
I was just ready to be able to listen to
Now,
I got the subject this wall.
if you have the wrong unit or no unit, you lose one. Right? I told y'all that. If the answer is wrong, but the work is right, and I wrote CALC, that stands for calculator error, and you lose 2. Okay? If I put -5, I gave you some form of partial credit because you made an itty bitty error, like maybe you counted 1 space off when your King Henry died. Okay? And everything else was right in the chart. If I wrote down -10, I didn't give you any partial credit because there was some kind of large error, like you did the chart wrong, you didn't understand that you had to go Centimeters cubed to milliliters were the same. Jacked it up some kind of way, in a way that I wasn't willing to get partial credit. If you flip two things in the chart, I usually gave you, -5. If the numbers were right and you just had them reversed and they need to be flipped, I usually did -5, but any -5 is a partial credit. If you had the numbers right and you forgot to cube them and I wrote in the cubed, I probably took off -5, providing it was right and it was a calculator mistake, because the answer wasn't right. I wouldn't have taken off -5 if you left off 3s just on the units. The answer would have had to go wrong. If I wrote -5 on 7 and 8 and wrote algebra, it means you set up the density formula correctly and the answer is wrong. Okay? There's no work to go with it, or the work you have is wrong and the answer is wrong. If the work is correct with the algebra and the answer is wrong, I wrote -2 calculator. No one in the room got C right. One person in 2 classes got the answer right. Aisha Marshall? Keisha Marshall got C right. The only one in the 2 classes who got the answer right. I had one other come close with centimeters cubed, but the answer is meters cubed. And I don't remember who had centimeters cubed, but meters cubed is the answer. There was only one person who got it right. Temperature, we had lots of people get Kelvin. Mass, we had lots of people who put kilogram. I had several people write kilo. Kilo is only a prefix, so will not get you the points. That could be kilometer, kiloliter, could be kilo anything. You have to write kilogram. Okay? Questions about anything on the quiz? Yes, ma'am. Then I added wrong, and I'll be glad to get it back. Well, let's see. Yeah, you're tripping, not me this time. Let me see this.
I miss his homework.
Yep. Because this would be, meters is 1, because it's on the baseline. Okay, so that would be bigger, so 1, and then 2 spaces.
Because at the bottom, I just wrote K, D, H.
I was exactly what I was gonna do, but that's what I was gonna do. I'm like,
Anybody else? Give me a minute, answer something.
I just.
This would be kilograms. Kelvin. And you write down.
The first one was right.
Kill the bug. We need to be fumigated. They won't fumigate us to death. They're on there. Yeah. Now, you hear about my sense. Elena needs first. You said 7 or 8? 7. All right. And 8? All right. So in 7 and 8, you're using D equals M over V. In 7, it asks you to find what's the mass of gold. So you're looking for mass. The question only gives you volume, which they tell you is 12.3. So you need the density. You know your orange charts that I gave you? So you have to look up the density of gold. So find gold, find the column that says density, and what did you find? All right, so when you go to solve, cross multiply, mass equals, cross multiply, and so you get 235 point, a bunch of stuff, 5.31. All right, I would have rounded that off and just put 5, and then grams. Okay, because this had grams over centimeters cubed, and I gave you milliliters, and milliliters and centimeters cubed are the same, and so those cancel out, leaving you grams.
So most likely when it's a question like that, you're gonna have to go back.
Not necessarily. In the next one, I didn't make you look up anything. I gave you everything. Okay, you only need that if I leave out a number. Okay. So like in the next one, all right, still using density. And this time I asked for volume, okay? So here we're looking for V. And I said mass of 65.3. So where am I putting that number? On top. And then I gave you a density of 4.36, so I'm putting that here. So this time I gave you both numbers, and you don't have to look up anything. So what do I do to solve? You go out. Cross multiply. All right, so when I cross multiply, I'm going to have 4.36V equals 65.3. Whoops. Huh?
You just must put next to each other and divide.
Mm-hmm. And divide by 4.36 and divide by 4.36. And volume will equal what you get when you divide, which is 14 point something, I believe. Yeah, that's the answer. Anybody else? Question? And if you didn't do well on this one, don't panic. By the time we finish the semester, you should have already figured out, given the vast number of quizzes, these count about 1 point in your overall average. They're a very small fraction of what your grade is. Okay? And I've already told you the first test is multiple choice, and what do I let you do? Maybe I only said it in second period. I let you do test corrections on the first test. Okay? There's usually a bump for some of us. Some of you will do very well on the first one. Because you won't, I let people test correct the first test.
Everyone test corrected?
Didn't I just say that?
Well, I didn't know if you like certain grades only.
Everyone.
Okay.
That includes you, who I'm guessing based on the way you said that's going to be a high achiever.
Okay.
So yes, even you get to correct your test.
Yeah.
All right. So those of you who are stuck on the homework and didn't like do. Now, I don't teach it the same way as do. These are the 2 rules I use, and I'll give them to you if you want to write them down. We're going to go through this pretty quickly. Okay? And I don't teach it the same way because in my class, we're just not going to hit everything that he talked about because he's going to teach it more from the standpoint of a college class. All right? Yeah. All right. So when you round in addition and subtraction, you have to use decimal places. Now, because I'm not going to give you things and you're not going to encounter things specifically the way he described it, we're not going to worry about where the number sort of ended. I'm going to worry about decimal places in here. So, we're going to round to the least number of places behind the decimal. Change colors. Oops, I punched that wrong. All right. So, when you add and subtract, and I will tell you now, this is the rule we will use the least. Multiplication and division will be the rule that we will use 95% of our time. So if you're someone who is struggling and you're not going to be able to remember both rules, I would only learn the multiplication and division. Take the hit on the quiz and learn multiplication and division because that's the one you're going to need to know if you can't keep the 2 rules straight. Okay? So when you have those numbers, you're rounding to the least places. Now you can add them up in a column if you prefer. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. All right, but you're rounding to the least number of places behind the decimal. So how many places are behind the decimal. Here,
2.
here, here. Our answer has to have the least number. What's the least number?
0.
So I want 0 in this number. So I need to round off, so I have none. So I need to get rid of those numbers. So my answer should be 44. However, I will take 43. I'm not going to get bent out of shape if you don't round the number up. If you just drop them off and call it a day and say 43, you have the right number of significant digits. I'm going to be happy. Okay? But it should round up to 44. That's addition and subtraction. That's the one we will use the absolute least. The one that you have to know and you have to be able to use frontwards and backwards is multiplication and division. All right, do we have it? All right. Multiplying and dividing is why you learn the rules for significant digits. And this is what we're going to calculate with tomorrow in the density lab. You're going to round to the least number of significant digits. You know how you guys keep asking me, Ms. Wall, do we just round to 1 or 2 places behind the decimal? This is why we learned these rules. So you don't have to ask me that anymore. You're going to apply this rule to all word problems starting tomorrow. Maybe today, depending on how far we get. All right? So, when you work a word problem, like the density question we did yesterday, you're going to round to the least number of significant digits. So, in the density problem that we just worked with Elena, it had let me find it. It had density equals 4.36 and mass equals 65.3. So, if those are the numbers that we're going to use, when we plug in the solve, and we have 4.36 and 65.3, and we solve for our volume, and we get somewhere around 14.97, if I remember what Elena told me. All right, we get our answer. We need to round our answer to the correct significant digits. Well, how many significant digits are here?
3.
How many significant digits are here?
3.
So now, when you work a word problem, you want to round your answer to how many? 3. Okay? So, how are we going to round 14.97 to only 3 significant digits?
Round it up.
Sure. Now, some of you are looking at that and going, now, this is why I tell you, I'm not teaching rounding. If you want to say it's 14.9 milliliters, cool. You have the correct significant digits. That's all I'm grading. I'm not grading your ability to round. I don't care if you can't round a number this semester. Okay? I'm grading significant digits. Now, if you're a rounding whiz kid and you're like, it's 15.0, Ms. Wall, cool beans. I will take either answer. Okay? I don't care as long as you have the correct significant digits. That's what I'm grading. And FYI, none of this is on the final exam. Y'all remember y'all took honors? You get an extra quality point in your GPA. That's why you learned it. Okay? You get lots of extras in an honors curriculum. You're taking classes that people put honors on that you don't get nothing but the basic curriculum. Welcome to Ms. Wall's world. Okay? You get all the honors extras when you take honors chemistry. Okay? I know. Everybody complains about it every year. You get extra work. You get extra content. You really get honors when you take honors from Ms. Wall. Ask your friends. Did any of you people talk to your friends?
Yes.
Okay. Did they tell you the same thing I tell you? Okay. Citizens, go out there and talk to the people. They will tell you what I'm telling you. They will not lie to you. I'm not exaggerating. Okay?
Hey, why was 6
Oh.
Here you go, have Ms. Lyons. Ask her.
And so what do we have?
Oh, yeah.
Ask her if I'm lying to you. Ask her about my class.
What do you have?
What about it?
I had nothing changed since Ms. Lyons took the class. All right, do those three. Calculate. Round to the correct significant digits. And then we'll see how you did with the homework. Or should we even check the homework?
No, we need to check it, but can we like be allowed to go over see if I'm doing?
Okay. Do those three. We'll see if we've got it. We'll do the lab. And then I'll let you work on your homework after we finish the lab, and then we'll check the answers. Something tells me y'all need to go back to the homework. Why is it y'all don't get calculators when y'all get here in the morning? Y'all need calculators. Once I tell you y'all need calculators. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not. It probably should be, but it's not.
They're not putting on my math. And I need
Who you got for math?
Mr.
I find that hard.
We're just going over our, like,
Small chart, your sharp was like that was really the thing I was most scared of.
Are you serious?
I could like someone told me a story and I could not go into the bathroom like for like I get to the bathroom obviously, but like I would always
We're there for a minute.
You know, I held my pee for a week. Just kidding. I was so scared to go to the bathroom. Like imagine being traumatized to use the restroom.
I mean, I know those.
And number 3 is a divide. So make sure you punch that in right. All right, got them? These are not the answers. These are just what it equals on the calculator. All right. So now that we've calculated them, we need to apply the rules and round. So in number 1, which rule are we applying? Multiplication and division or addition and subtraction?
These numbers are significant.
That's right, significant digits. Okay, so since this is multiplication, we're doing significant digits. So how many total significant digits are here?
3.
How many significant digits are here?
4.
So we want total significant digits, not decimal places, significant digits. That's the hard part about this, remembering which rule to use. And since this is multiplication, we're doing significant digits, not decimal places. So how many do I need?
3.
What are my first 3 significant digits? 238. Okay. So number 2, what rule do we need? Yes, ma'am.
Because you have rounded as 239 because of the 19.
No.
You shouldn't round to 239 because the number behind it is a 1, but I would probably have taken it because your significant digits are correct. This is what I'm talking about with rounding. Okay. So number 2, we're adding. What's the rule?
These numbers, decimal places.
Decimal places. How many decimal places are here? Okay, so we're doing decimal places. How many are here?
2,
And here?
0.
And here. So what do I want?
No, that's-
No decimal places. So I'm getting rid of these, and I have what? 64. All right. So the last one, what rule am I using?
Significant digits.
Significant digits. How many are here? How many are here?
3.
So what are my first 3 significant digits? 248. This one I'm going to need only because I need to keep it. This is 2,000. This is what? 200. So I need to put a 0 there so it stays 2,000. Now, am I writing a decimal?
No.
No, because it would be significant if I wrote the decimal. Does that make sense? Does that help at all for last night's homework?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do the lab. That way the early finishers can have time to work on their homework. Hopefully we'll have a little time for you to go back and recalculate so I can give you those answers. All right? Now, how many people do I have here today? I'm even or odd number. 20. Cool. That'll be 10 groups of 2. I don't care who you work with. I mean, I prefer it to be someone you can get along with. Today's the 22nd. That's fine. All right. On the lab sheet, at the top, it tells you to find the mass of a 250 milliliter beaker and put that in the data table. All right. The only thing that I would tell you about the steps, when you need the rulers, here on my desk, fix the rulers, put them there. When you need the thermometer, they're at the back. Please be gentle and careful with the thermometers. So when you take them out, you can carefully put them back in. Do not leave them sitting in the beakers, because if you do, and you backhand them accidentally, they will fly across the room or fly to the floor and they shatter, okay? There's no putting them back together. We're a poor school, and we do not have the money to replace them. So carefully put them back here when you're done, okay? Don't leave stuff sitting around. When you're done with the water, pour it down the drain. Now, when you go to use the sink, carefully move the lid, set it off to the side. When you need water, turn the water on. Do not mash the handle flat. Somebody had this one down way too low and I just fixed it. It may drip a little, that's fine. Even my fat, pudgy hand should fit between the water handle and the countertop when you turn the water on. Okay, don't mash it flat to the counter. Now, do not turn the water on so it's spraying like that, okay? Gently. Because if you have it turned up really high like that, and you go to stick the beaker under there, what's gonna happen? It's gonna spray everywhere, okay? People beside you, behind you over there are gonna be covered in water. Papers are all wet, and they just pissed at you. Then they're all, well, I need new paper, mine's all wet. I didn't make enough copies for everybody to get a dry paper. So please, don't do that. Turn the water on gently so you can get your water, okay? The gas nozzles are not on, don't mess with them. All right, when you're done, dump all the water out. Cover back. Any questions? We talked about how to use the scale yesterday and refreshed, but if you get there and you're just like, dang, I don't know how to do that, just call me. I'll show you how to use the scale. Any questions? Leave the white guard that's on the graduated cylinder at the top. Some of the physical science folks probably lowered them. They're used for something else, but I don't use them for that. I use them as bumper guards. Because if you knock this over and the bumper guard is way down here, the glass hits, shatters. These are about $15 to $20 to replace. We do not have the money. If you leave the bumper guard up there and the plastic hits, it doesn't break. Okay? You got it? Groups of 2. We ought to be able to do this in about 20 minutes flat. Go. What? If you need to, guys, if you need to move some of the chairs, just slide them forward on the road. And who doesn't have a partner? Did I miscount? Do I have somebody who's odd man out? I got Raylene with no partner. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, did I miscount? If I did, Raylene can join and take care of that. Do I have anybody who doesn't have a partner before I make a group of 3 since I apparently miscounted? Oh, never mind. Zai doesn't have a partner. Raylene go work with Zai. She's very nice. She's even not running today, so she'll be still. So she can't escape it. She's not running today, so she can't escape it.
We can see You just waited. Wait, we're supposed to do Are you serious?
Is that close by?
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 100. Yeah. Our guesses. Massive.
So for the bigger ones, one,
Look at it. Maybe three. Yeah, I know it's in
What's the fifth? Oh, good. This is good.
All right. Oh, wow. No, way too much. No, not enough. Okay, the bottom of it is still not touching the 50. It's one too low. Maybe it's smart. A tad. A wee bit. What the heck? Insane.
I'm just glad we never touched.
Yeah.
Take a little bit too much.
Oh,
We have a couple of drops.
Yeah, but it was 100 and you moved the next one.
Oh my god. Quit like
Oh.
Oh my god. Not to pour it all out.
Yeah, this is like put it on the couch.
I don't know. I didn't know.
This is 50. Wait, 50 is one. Oh, wait, special 50 is one.
It's still.
Wait, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's too
Oh,
much.
it's so like, oh.
That's the max down. It's-
Yeah, but you got. So 5 point, I'm at the list, 5. Yeah, it's like, I'll touch you.
Almost all
Oh,
the way.
wait, from your perspective. Yeah, I think.
No, that's
There, we did the first time.
It's not exactly at the nine.
But you
It's got 0.01. No.
9.09.
9.09.
Wait, stop.
But
That's the water.
don't know the volume. But if you know the mass of
Water for his
beaker,
graduated civil. This, right?
Wait, one bit.
these two is dragging up the side.
What are you doing? I'm trying to.
I always ask that because if you subtract the water, not down to
What the crap?
Everybody got perspective.
So don't check yourself. Make sure it's not. Yeah.
Okay, so if it was 50 milliliters in here.
Yeah.
And it's not
The
here.
beaker's just an estimate. You need to make sure you don't graduate some. Yeah, because the beaker's just an estimate.
So the same amount? Or do we add more?
Yeah, just read the lines on the graduate some. Yeah, I'm not grading you on what the volume is. I'm grading you on the.
Okay, sweet. Oh, wait. Great.
Are you reading what's on the blue lines or the scale?
I'm not sure if it says mass compared to water.
So now you find the mass of the water.
Okay, so we have.
You know the mass of the beaker, the mass of the beaker, and the water together.
Which one? That's not 42. Let's look.
You know the beaker by itself was, let's say, 100.
1, 2.
And the beaker and the water together are 150. How do you find just the water?
Whoa!
Measure the volume of the water. The volume of the water.
Wait, what? How do we figure out the mass of the water? Oh! We skipped a step. 56.9 is the water. Is the fourth answer. We have to do. Go with the big one first. But I'm not gonna say subtract. Okay, so 60. Right, yeah, we can leave our answer like that because it goes to like the same. That's okay. Well, wait, what do you get? Okay. Wait.
That's if you don't have to, because that only goes through the one.
A unit. Okay, so
Oh, unit.
160.
Meters.
Bro, what?
So the volume is cubic. What did I say?
Okay. Temperature of the water. Let me go get the thermometer. I'm not. This much is on. Yes. You want to do it? Wait, why is it not reset? Beakers.
It's, the temperature of the water and the room are gonna be very close. So I'm gonna give it about 30 seconds to a minute to acclimate.
Well, maybe if you read the directions, it says now put one.
Return to the water.
Yes, on the stool.
Maybe if you sit up and take a measure out.
So that's gonna be
We put it in the
And make sure when you do length and width, you do centimeters, not inches.
Wait,
You wanna check it yourself?
I checked it.
Trevor, I'm gonna write the centimeter thing on here for you.
So no, that's what the other 50 did. Okay, bring those.
Right, yeah, I think so.
I think they, I don't think if I looked at this movie. I said, we need to play. Now with the 115. Oh, is that, okay.
You're so weird.
Should've put a timer down.
Okay.
I think she good. I think she good.
Too many ones, too many degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it was a mosquito. I got killed 2 this morning.
I got bit 3 times. I was out with 4 yards there, but they did it 3 times on the same race.
Yeah, I got one right back there beside the director's room and one I just got into. They don't want to fumigate that because they have to turn the air conditioner off the whole building.
Yeah, I was on.
Yeah, I do too.
They can do it on the weekends.
They could, but I'm sure part of it is they don't want to spend the money. Which I get. But, you know, mosquitoes, yeah, it's going.
Yeah.
The first thing when I see that measure say it's millimeters.
Do you want to see the millimeters or centimeters?
They're millimeters.
Wait, how did she?
She doesn't track that. One doesn't track that. Oh, to track empty, and not empty. Maybe there is.
Y'all finally get them right over here.
There we go.
So wait a minute.
That makes no sense. That's false.
What?
How come?
There's a saying.
Millimeters.
Millimeters. Depends on how you read it.
Oh,
There's 10 millimeters.
Okay.
yeah.
What's going on?
Okay. So, the millimeters are the smaller than the centimeters.
So basically, we're both idiots.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Well, look at water.
Excuse me. Whoa.
That's a four.
It's straight enough for me. No, it looks like 21.
Alright, time to stop.
Oh.
Wait, so.
87.
Ms. Lawson.
Yeah. Possibly just calculating practice for the lab. They're gonna do a lab. You gotta calculate the density of blocks in the correct standard. You gotta measure its significant digits. and calculate. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Take all of it.
Tonight, your water pro.
Wait, do you
And it's on the back side of the door. Door's just closed. And then, of course, make sure you wear.
27.89. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it is. Oh, I thought late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How we coming out there?
What's that height?
Oh. Can we really see that?
Find your significant digit homework so we can see how you did calculating, by the way.
Okay, so this is 2.
If you need to update it, update it.
Like, this is
I
like.
can't. I feel like 8 number pieces of paper.
It's gonna be good, test.
What are you trying to see down there?
Like, I'm measuring the paper.
Oh, centimeters.
27.85. I'll take the word for it.
What's this?
Wait, is that the length or the width? Right.
This is it.
Doesn't matter.
So if we get them flippity flop, you'll.
Doesn't
Writing
matter.
significant digits.
Centimeters are in between.
Length and width are arbitrary. It doesn't matter which one's which.
So it's just. Oh, okay.
Where we just.
It's centimeters.
Never mind.
Wait, is it in millimeters?
It's in, okay, look, with me and Frank, I said the same thing. These in between it are the millimeters.
Oh.
Oh.
I had 21.6 on the.
Wait, we need 2 numbers.
Yes, yes, I think. 21.60.
The line on the ruler.
Using the correct significant digits, how many questions on the decimal should you have in any mass measurement?
That's good.
What did you want us to use the units for the volume?
Look on the right doing something. Top.
Let me analyze. Degrees, millimeters.
So the volume is in milliliters.
Yeah, not meters cubed.
It's in milliliters, not meters.
Using the correct significant digits, how many places? We have to write complete sentences.
Milliliters for
No,
the volume.
only a lab report requires that.
How many places behind the decimal should you have in any volume measurements? 1. Using the correct significant digits, how many places behind the decimal should? Wait, what does it mean by using the correct significant digits?
It's like, if you take one out of these, then it's gonna be the wrong amount of significant.
Okay, using the correct significant digits, how many places behind the decimal?
Okay, dude. When did you take that off your head?
1.
All right.
How many numbers should it be? I don't know.
What?
I know.
Okay.
I'll put one, please.
Word.
All right, we should be finishing up that lab.
I did finish up the dollar.
Okay, you go back to the dishes.
How many days for the water? Okay, how about using
Two.
Science.
Yes.
Okay, I'm so mad at you.
Yeah.
Okay, Franco, we finished.
I want to see you though.
Okay, well, we have to.
You gotta turn your stuff in.
Where's the thanky?
Up here on the
Franco
stove.
finisher.
Okay, that's about it.
I was racist.
What are you talking about?
Racist to you, Franco? Yeah.
I'm not racist.
She called me a beaner back there.
Okay, no, I get it. I don't even use that word.
Oh, what is that even supposed to mean?
You don't know what a beaner is?
No.
I did not use, that you used.
Racist in itself.
Yeah, if you don't turn it in, I can't grade it.
Okay, this homework. I got confused on when it was like the order of operations, like. I don't know.
I will tell you this, just follow the rules of multiplication and division, and that one you'll be fine. It'll work out. You gotta let me see it. Keep, put it down, make sure you're back. I don't think that's fine. I actually haven't seen the question.
I just need to see if my answers are right.
If you let me see it, I can probably point you in the right direction.
I'm trying to figure out this question.
That's what I was telling Ally. You can do the rule where you subtract, and that's one place behind the decimal, three places behind the decimal. Go ahead and subtract, and you're gonna have one place behind the decimal, and then you'll do your multiplication and division. But I will tell you, this one will work, and most of them will work. If you just do, because it's division, if you just do your significant digits, 2, 4, you're only gonna have 2 significant digits in the answer. It will work itself out. Yeah,
If you have addition, if you have addition or subtraction plus the multiplication and division, which
you should do the multiplication and division last, and go ahead and do your addition and subtraction. But I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, a lot of times 10 out of 10, you will wind up with the addition and subtraction rule taking care of itself. If you do your significant digit rule. The one that I have on the paper, you can just use the significant digit rule because it will work.
Are we redoing the same thing for us?
If you didn't do them right, yes. I'm just, while we're waiting on the groups, but I think the last group is fixing whatever's in that stack at any moment. $66. 11 times 6 is 67. All right, I think that's everybody's lab paper, right? All right, I'll work on those in a minute. And I've already graded your quizzes. I will put those in Power School. Third, maybe second, but if not, third period. All right, and I got everybody's lab paper, right? Nobody kept theirs. Because remember, I can't grade it if you don't give it to me.
That's true, that's true.
All right. I'm going to give you the answers to the odd questions. Okay? Yes. But some people are also working on the even questions. So I'm not giving you the evens. I'm only giving you the odds.
Oh, is that our homework tonight?
Yeah, the evens are going to be tonight. So you get more practice. Because tomorrow, the lab we're doing, you're going to find the density of two things, and you have to do them in the correct significant digits. So I'm going to grade today's lab so I can provide feedback on how you did with significant digits. Hopefully they're stellar. Okay, but in case they're not, we need to talk about what you did wrong so you can fix it for tomorrow. Okay, because tomorrow you're going to find the density of wood, and you have to read the equipment to the correct significant digits, and then you have to calculate to the correct significant digits. Everybody understand what we're going to do? So if you can't measure to the correct significant digits and you can't calculate in the correct significant digits, it sort of goes downhill rapidly. Okay? So number one, you can either have 18.2 or 18.3, depending on how you rounded. Okay? 18.2 or 18.3. Number three should be 20.41, because that one should not round up. Number five, 548.68. 7, either 22.9 or 23.0. Yeah, that's, or, yeah. So if you got 22.9661 and you were like, I don't know how to round that, just drop it off 22.9, because you need one place behind the decimal in that one. And number 9, the last one, again, you need one place behind the decimal. So 375.4, or if you round it up, 375.5. All right, number 11 should be 15. But if you didn't round up, I would have taken 14. Number 13 should be 1.2. 15 should be 0.3. But if you didn't round up, I would take 0.2. Number 17 should be 150. You only want two significant digits there, so you cannot round that to 151. And number 19 should be 110. Yep. All right, so all right, so in 17, you have 271,000 times decimal 0031 times 2.36 squared. So when I calculated that, I got 150.83668. Are we okay on getting the answer when we calculate? Okay, so when I look at this, I have how many significant digits here?
3,
How many here?
2,
And how many here? Okay, so I'm getting rid of that to begin with. Okay, because I only want two significant digits. Okay, so this is all I'm keeping. The question is, how do I round that to only two significant digits?
drop the decimal.
Drop the decimal. It's 150.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Okay.
put it in my site.
Does that make sense for everybody? Everybody okay with punching that in the calculator? Jocelyn, you getting it? Because I see you punching. You need me to talk about how to do it? Okay. So 271,000 times 0.0031. Do I have a divide in there somewhere that I left off? Write it down right. Yep, I forgot the divide. Whoop. That's what I left off. That's probably why you're not getting the right answer. All right. Divide 2.36 squared. Did it work that time? I don't use the parentheses.
Multiplication is gonna be the most amount of.
It's the least, not the most significant digits, the least. Okay? Y'all stop packing up. I haven't let y'all leave terribly late yet. I'm not gonna start today. We only have one more question to work for Allie. All right, and the last one, 19. So you have 2.86 divide 0.013 times 0.938 divide 1.9. All right, so when you punch that in, you get 108.6105. We only want how many significant digits here? 2. So we've got 108, and we need to round that to 2. So how can we round that to 2 significant digits? You can round it up to 110, which is what I did. Now, the other option you have that the dude on the video talked about is you can put it in scientific notation. Okay, so if you have trouble rounding to the correct significant digits, put it in scientific notation. All right, 1.08 times 10 to the second, and then round to the correct significant digits. So we can drop that off, 1.0 times 10 to the second, or if you round it up, 1.1 times 10 to the second. All right, the times 10 doesn't count for significant digits, so you only have these, which are significant digits. Now, in scientific notation, it works the same way. Nothing's different. You still count decimal places. You still count these numbers. So 2 significant digits, 2 significant digits. Doesn't work any different. Questions?
Did you do like 2.86 divided by like 0.013 times 9.38, like whatever that was you divided?
Just went across. I just went straight across.
You just typed it in
Yeah.
like that.
Should have. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in the video it said you like the order of operation, you don't have to do that? Like you like multiply, then divide, add, subtract, like fill it out.
Yeah, you still have to do the order of operations.
You said you did right.
Yeah.
And it was order of operations, multiply, freaking, and then divide. I can't see.
It doesn't matter there. Multiplication and division are the same.
So with the other, like, you know, like.
Yeah, now if you had addition and subtraction, you'd have to do multiplication and division before you did addition and subtraction, but those are all multiply and divide. They have the same, they are on the same, they're equal. And please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, multiplication and division are equal. One's not greater than the other.
I be doing it, I multiply first and then divide.
No, you don't do that.
You look at how many significant digits there are as a
Guys,
whole, not in.
You can pack up while they're still asking questions and return calculators. You're doing the even numbers for homework. Keep going, Allie.
Like, there's a lot of different numbers there.
Yeah.
If you were to do order of operations, would you look at like the number of significant digits like in each part of the thing?
You just look at all together. So the least number is 2. But when you look at order of operations, multiplication and division are on the same wavelength. Addition and subtraction are lower in the totem pole than multiplication and division. They're equal. Parentheses are higher up than multiplication and division. Exponents are higher up. Multiplication and division are on the same plane. So that one divide is not higher up than the other multiply. Y'all have the orders out of sync in your mind.
I think I was thinking about the other one, but I didn't calculate that.
Yeah, you just go straight across.
We don't have FS in the night, do we?
You know, you do not have an ed puzzle tonight. We will not do those every night. No, we will not do those every night. We'll do those periodically. Okay?
They take forever to load for me. The one last night, it would not.
Really?
Yeah, mine would not load at all last night. I tried to watch a little bit of it this morning. I'm over my internet. I'm not. The way my mom be paying that cable bill is too much.
Brandon Demery, Jada Wilhite, please come to the main office. That's Brandon Demery, Jada Wilhite, and Kylie Kuntz. Please come to
Yes.
the main office.